So this past week, a really good friend of mine came to visit me with his family, and at one point, I was alone with his grandma in the car because I was driving her to the store or whatever. And she was asking about my life and what I was doing and blah blah blah. And she said, "So Sophie, do you have any do you have a boyfriend? Are you dating? What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not too much interested in having boyfriends." And she said, "Oh, that's a shame." And she said something along the lines of like, "You're a pretty girl and you're well spoken." And then she said, if only you lost a couple of kilos, you would be perfect. And I was just sitting there in the car, just like this, just like hold like what's my reaction? Like what do I say? And the way my mother raised me is you're always gonna be polite and you're always gonna be courteous. So of course I said, "Oh well, thank you for the compliment." And I just kind of changed the subject. But what I wanted to say, I don't even know because that statement, I've gotten that a lot in my life. Like, you would be better if only you lost weight. And it's just, it upsets me so much. I don't even know how to go in and analyze it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's offensive and upsetting on so many levels. It's not because I'm insulted because I was called fat. It's because here's a woman who is kind of perpetuating the beauty standard, number one. Like, as in, oh, okay, you'll be more acceptable to men if you were thinner, because if you're thinner, ergo, you're more beautiful, which is totally false. So that's one problem. Another problem is, like, how dare you be so presumptuous as to even say anything like that to someone? I mean, like, on a basic level, it's rude. But also, it's like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are imposing your beauty ideal and your beauty standard on me and then telling me that I would have more worth if I attained it? And another thing I don't get is that, like, at the very least, people who make these comments, like, don't you know that you could be potentially really, really hurtful and it's actually being mean to the other person because you're essentially saying, like, hey, you're fat. I don't consider that a good thing. And you have something about you that you need to change. Like, if anything, not only are you being rude, not only are you being presumptuous, not only are you being arrogant and obnoxious when you make these statements, it's like, don't you realize that you can actually hurt the other person if for nothing else, even if you have these like views about what you think beauty is to you or to the dominant culture, even then, at a very basic level, don't you feel like it would be just a nice thing to not call someone unattractive? If anything, could you not aim to not hurt their feelings? Like, I don't even, when I get comments like this, before it was really easy to internalize them and hold on to them and feel bad about it, which is ridiculous because what you're doing is you're just conforming to someone else's beauty standard, and all they're doing is conforming to a beauty ideal that's set forth by the dominant culture. So on so many levels, it's just so many people being wrong. So instead of that, what I do now is I just kind of smile and shrug it off, and with an air of, wow, you're being a little bit ridiculous, but I would never call anyone out on it because I can never be rude. Which is ironic because they're being so incredibly rude. Why couldn't I just give what they're giving me back to them? But anyway, now what I've realized is I really don't put any at all value in the statements of others unless I happen to fundamentally agree with them. So that's great in the sense that you're a critical thinker, you're an independent mind, whatever. But if someone says, hey, you need to lose weight in order to be more attractive, it's like, I don't hold those same ideals. I don't have the same opinion as you. So feel free to express yourself. I happen to think you're completely wrong, but you're not going to hurt me because I've put zero value in the statement, what you're saying, and consequently now in you as a person. The day that my worth is determined by an external factor, by someone else, is the day that I'm worth nothing.